Hi, I'm Matt from hockeyreviews.ca, and this is a snapshot review of the True XC9 gloves. These just came out, so I'm going to do a quick review of them. I'll do a review of the XC5s in another video, another snapshot, so check that out. But right now, we are talking about the True XC9 gloves. So these are True's newest model. It has the palm, the removable palms like their previous XC9s and A6.0s. Now the XC7s have removable palm as well. So they kind of have two zipper palms for two different price points. So this glove is pretty interesting to me. I really didn't like the first True gloves with the zipper palms. I felt they were implemented in a poor way. And then their XC7 and the 5.0, I believe, or 4.5 gloves were very nice. Like probably one of the best value price gloves there was. They didn't have the zipper palms. Now with that said, this glove I put on right away, and actually everyone I know that is at this local hockey store put this on right away and said, what is up with these? So if you can see my thumb, I can't put my thumb straight. It's kind of on an angle, and same with the pinky. I can't get that straight either. Now my fingers are at the very end of the actual glove because these are size 14. They didn't have a size 15. I'm not sure if they come out with that. I didn't look into that. But everyone who puts on this glove instantly believes that the fingers are put on the wrong way. And what we mean by that is when you kind of close it, you can the fingers are kind of on an angle. I don't know if hopefully this will kind of show up, but the fingers are kind of on an angle, and we feel that they're angled in a wrong direction. You can kind of see my hand just straight out like this. I'm not bending my finger out or anything. I'm just sticking it out, and it instantly puts my finger kind of on an angle like this, so it follows this line instead of actually being like just sticking out normally. And as well, you can see how it's sticking out here. It's fighting against my hand to actually stick it out, and same with this one. It's very odd feeling, and I really feel like whenever they designed this glove, or whenever it went to the manufacturer stage, they kind of switched where these fingers are supposed to be. It almost feels like this design should be more here with the pinky. It's really awkward. It's one of the most awkward feeling gloves I've ever put on, and it's a huge shame because I did the protection test with this with hitting my hand on the mini stick, and this glove is unbelievably protective. Like my Pro Stock CCM with extra protection protective. The material they use in here, this foam, is extremely thick, and I believe it's the thickest. They advertised that before as the thickest on the market for retail, and it's unbelievably protected. My hand feels awesome in it when getting hit. The only spot that's a little bit not great is the cuff. I haven't seen a great implementation of a cuff yet, so I'm giving it to True in that sense. But the rest of the glove, the fingers, the backhand, the thumb, are awesome for protection. So this is a huge disappointment this glove feels that bad. Now, the next part that really bothers me about this glove, I'm not a fan of the thumb, but it's their implementation of a flex thumb. I don't think it's very flexible enough. The other annoying thing is that there's actually two little holes for the thumb. Like your thumb can actually go back here too. And now it's just how they don't sew this closed, but some people mentioned that to me when they tried this glove on. I kind of agree with them. The zipper palm is a neat idea. I just don't think it has ever been implemented well. And what I mean by that is I can feel the zippers on my pinky finger. I can feel the zipper right there. And the other ones are now covered better with the liner, so True did a good job of that. But right now, I can feel the seam all the way through, and it's really uncomfortable. What happens is, because of the zipper design, you can no longer just put seams like at the very top of the glove and just sew the actual palm into the top of the glove. Normally, you have that and you can never feel that seam anywhere, but right now, I can feel this seam all the way through and all the way in here. Now some people say they don't feel the zippers or seams. Maybe that's true. Before, True only came out with a Z-palm and 14-inch gloves, and I always had that issue right away. Now I always wear a 15, so it's a little bit different in that sense, but I still feel that all the time with these gloves, and it's really disappointing because they're not comfortable enough in that sense for it, for me to buy them because of that. I really feel that there has to be a better way to implement the zipper. Maybe even put it like higher up in the padding so it kind of wraps around the padding or something. But this just isn't good enough in my opinion, and they're not comfortable enough, especially for a $179 glove. With that said, it is cheaper than like other retailers, or sorry, other companies which are at $229. So it's a kind of a benefit there for True. So now I'm going to talk about some things I do actually really like of this glove. One is they have an adjustable cuff. So you can see how it's higher up there, but you can also put it lower to lower the cuff. Now it's a nice little touch. And I wish other companies would kind of do that, just because it gives you a little bit of adjustability. It's not a huge thing. I prefer huge cuffs, so I like that. Something I find is really interesting is right here, True kind of overlayered the seam right here with this little piece here, which is awesome. Now it's not in the lower end glove, as you can see. I'm pretty sure this is done to cover up the Velcro to remove the palm, but it's a really nice touch, and True should put it on all their gloves, and I think more companies should do that, because this material is much nicer than feeling a seam. The other nice thing is I do like this liner. It's very comfortable. True did a decent job of bringing in the top of the fingers too. Like I said, I can't really feel the zipper anymore on these, so good job on that. Another interesting thing is True always has removable backhand padding, which gives you a bit more like volume in the glove if you take it out. Also adds a little bit more protection, just a soft, very soft foam, but it adds a little bit more protection in case you want that as well. I like a bit of a snugger fitting glove, so I'm happy that's in there. Now, I'm going to just quickly open up the glove to kind of give a look at it, because I haven't really done a video on how zipper palms work. So we are going to kind of take a view of that. So we're going to unzip this, and bear with me while I unzip this, which isn't a super quick thing. Now, the zipper palm to me is, like, I get the idea behind it. It's that if your palm wrecked or gets a hole in it, or like just worn out, you can swap it for a different palm, as well as it gives you different palm options with the same glove, so manufacturers don't have to make multiples. My issue is, well, one, I don't really go through palms that much because, well, I have multiple pairs of gloves, but because I use tacky mac or lizard skins or butt ends, and that way, like, it saves my palm. Okay, so I'm not going to take this all the way out, just going to take a look at it here. So you can see the inside of the palm. Again, you can see, look at this thick padding. Like, this is a great job True did there. And that does go kind of all the way up to the zipper, so it feels nice. But you can I can still feel that stitching all the time on the inside, so that's kind of my issue. The other thing that I think True, what the zipper palm does, which is a bad thing, is when your hand's actually in the glove, and let me put it in here if I can actually make this look like anything. So when your hand's actually in the glove, this part right here and this part is made to actually protect your hand from slashes and from sticks and stuff like that. But because the zipper adds so much height to the actual palm itself, your palm's always exposed. So this part is always like the zipper, and you can always get hit there, and it would be zipper right on hand when your hand's in there. And that's a kind of a drawback of the zipper design, and why I'm not a huge fan of it. Again, I do really like these fingers. Like, they're super comfortable, they're super padded. They're one of the most padded ever. I love this material, True does. And True uses it's like a moisture wicking odor repellent material, it says on the actual liner itself. They use it all through the fingers, which some companies cheap out on and just do it in the visible areas. So good job, True, in that sense. But with that said, I'm not a fan of this design at all. I really think it's really disappointing that their XC7s are no longer zipperless. But my big problem is how uncomfortable this glove is to wear because of how these fingers are. I really feel like True, every time True makes a glove, they don't get really anyone to test it, or if they do, it's always yes men. The first time I tried on a True XC9, the original one, and the 4-roll, so the A6.0, I think it might have been 5, sorry, I can't remember. The first time I tried it, I talked to the rep and said, has anyone ever told you that these are too small, like that you need 15s? And he said no. I'm like, well, I am right now, because I can feel the ends of these and it's really uncomfortable. Like, you need to make a 15-inch glove. And he's like, well, no one else has those issues, our gloves fit big, so it's not an issue. The other thing was, a True rep, when I stated that these are an anatomical glove, which they are, and they're supposed to be their tight-fitting glove, but True decided that these are anatomical but not tight-fitting. And that's why they didn't go with a 15-inch, according to them, for last generation, because it wasn't tight-fitting and they didn't need a 15-inch because it fit like a 15. But if the finger lengths don't fit like a 15, the glove doesn't fit like a 15. So then they came out with a 15-inch for the Pro Stocks, which fit my hand and are great. They need to do it in their retail ones. Now, again, I can't remember if these have 15s or not. But with that said, True really needs someone to put these gloves on before they make the next iteration and actually give them feedback. Because just like the first versions, these have pretty big flaws on them, and they could be so much better. They have the protection there, they have the ideas there, but I really feel like they don't have someone saying, we need to make this better. And it's really disappointing because there's so much potential here that I feel True just throws out the window because I'm not sure why exactly, but it's really frustrating. To be completely honest, the XC5 glove is the best glove in the line. It's better than the 7. It's way better than this, way more comfortable. It's still protective. It's just not as protective as this is, and you don't have that issue there. This is a better glove than their top of the line one. It's $100. So if you're gonna buy a True XC9, buy the $100 one. Buy the XC5 instead. It's a better glove. True really needs to figure out what they're doing with this, and like, this could be amazing. You can see all the different kind of pieces here to save costs on the lower end, but regardless, this glove could be amazing. It's super mobile, super flexible. It is fairly comfortable minus these pieces, but then they just, like, the fingers, the way the fingers are made are just awful, and it's literally the worst feeling glove I put on my hand off a shelf. So that's about it for my snapshot review of the True XC9 glove. Yes, it was very negative, but I'm trying to be constructive. I really think True has something great here. They just need to actually get someone's feedback who isn't as scared to say something bad about them. These could be great. There's so much potential, and yet it's just left out there. It's really the worst feeling glove I ever put my hand on the wall, and that's super disappointing when it could be so much better, and the 5s are proof that it could be so much better. So thank you very much for watching. I hate to say this, follow me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Links are in the description. Helps me get gear so I can do reviews on stuff and talk about gear like this, and in this case, save you money because buy the XC5s. I also hate to say this, but if you ever make a decision on gear, please reach out to the manufacturer just so they see and notice. Just gets me out there a bit, so hey, maybe I can test future True gloves out and give them actual feedback before they come out with gloves. But anyways, thank you very much. If you have any comments, criticisms, or anything like that, leave them in the comment section. Take it easy.